Before this video starts, I wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my robot homies, my blender, the fuzzy patch of grass in my garden that looks like my grandma, and all of the people that help trigger any depression, anxiety, and any episodes of existentialism.
Blah, 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 blah. God damn it. I'm so tired of fucking up this recording. Oh my god. Okay, I'm already fucking it up again. Well, welcome back, guys. This is, xNekroses here, I guess. And this is gonna be the Jesus Christ. You know what? I'm not cutting that out. I'm not doing it again. It's like the 5th time that I've had to stop and re-record everything. I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna do it. Welcome to the second podcast. Fucking, my name is... Ooh. I don't even know. My name's xNekroses, I guess. And I will be guiding you through... I forgot to set up water. Well then. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is xNekroses and... I love boobies. Good thing this channel isn't monetized, because I would definitely fucking knock it off right there. Oh shit, I cursed. Oh fuck. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, just welcome. Sitting here trying to think of what we should talk about. At least at the beginning. I have some bullet notes, but I just don't want to get into those so quickly. I want to extend this a little bit more. And, I mean, so far, I think I've been wasting everyone's time. I'm okay with this, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I think last time... Actually, no, this was on stream. This is 2 separate streams when I think it was Leshy and Cash and Leshy both requested that I just talk about this on the podcast instead versus the stream. They spoke about it on the stream a little bit, but not too much. I could always do a little bit more research on the topic of space and time and shit like that, but honestly, like, I'm not a scientist. I didn't study that shit. I'm just gonna sound like someone that's ignorant and doesn't know what they're talking about. Like, if I'm gonna sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm legitimately not gonna know. So here we go. I've always found it interesting. 100%. 100. How, God, that was fucking cringy. But I did have a fucking... I had a shit ton of coffee this morning. I'm still swirling it around. It's like my 3rd cup. Anyway, the universe is... No, on stream, we were talking about... I mean, just personally for me, not just everyone else. Personally for me, I find the universe crazy. I think it's insane. And whenever I sit there and look up any sort of information on it, it scares me. It legitimately scares me. Because I don't know... obviously no one knows where it begins, and nobody really knows where it ends, and like everything's just speculation and theories and stuff like that, because our universe is it's ever expanding, at least to what we know. And as they observe the professionally observable universe, like, they'll just never know how far it reaches until that light, you know, just reaches Earth in a certain way. But it's always expanding. And I remember talking about, like, to what degree, like, is there an end to our universe expansion? Or do we, for me, like, do we ever hit another, like, what's out there? What are we expanding to? Like, it's always, you know, the theory goes is the whole fucking Big Bang, the whole shebang at the beginning. You know, in the beginning, there was nothing but dust and clouds and shit, and everything got compressed and blew up, apparently. Apparently, that's how it happened. Do I believe it? Yeah, actually, that's pretty much all I believe. But, like, obviously, it's just answers we're never gonna, it's questions we're never gonna get answered. What was there before the universe? So you get this whole Big Bang theory. And, you know, from there, everything just fucking flies in all different directions. And along the way, things collide with each other. You know, friction happens with solid matter and gases, and everything just gets scooped up along the way. And, you know, that's probably how we ended up having suns. Like, even just as far as the Earth goes, pretty sure one of the theories for the creation of Earth was, I think it was like an asteroid hitting Earth, and a big chunk of Earth, you know, broke apart, and that's how we have our moon. And that's supposedly, and I don't know if this is confirmed or not, that's, you know, that's why there's water on the moon, or at least ice crystals on the moon, because it scooped up all of this shit from Earth on the way over. And it's, I don't know, it's just crazy. Not the Earth's creation, well, I mean that too, but like, when you look at the bigger picture, that's the small stuff. That's the us portion of it. And, you know, we have fucking comets and asteroids and stuff like that. But the bigger stuff, getting from galaxy to galaxy, trying to expand and see if we can colonize a different planet. Getting to different solar, even just getting to different solar systems is crazy. I mean, if I ever live it, if it's ever in my lifetime, I'd be extremely glad to see it. But the way I see it, I know a lot of people like to think that we don't have, like, you know, a lot of people think that we are alone in the universe simply because, you know, they believe in a god or something like that, or God created everything, you know, just whatever. I don't think we're alone, to be honest. Obviously, if Earth was a lot of things happening in the right way to create us, or the wrong way, who knows? But, you know, if we're made from the same elements that, you know, came from the center of the universe when it exploded, then surely we can't be the only ones. There's just no way. And I kind of refuse to believe that we're alone out here. Yeah, the bigger question, what do we expand to? What universe will we collide to? Will there be another universe where there are just, or infinite universes where there are infinite versions of us, just slightly different? You know, I could be in a different universe, and instead of being brown, I'm a different color. A different color altogether, a different, you know, personality, different person. Or I may just not exist at all. I'd be someone that would be just a complete stranger. And I think it's possible. I think it's very much so possible. But that's all the serious talk. I mean, not for today, but like, that's one of the pieces of the serious talks. The other thing I wanted to get into was, I think it's funny. I think it's really funny that, that I think I believe it's the Milky Way galaxy, at the center of our galaxy of the Milky Way, there is a gas cloud that pretty much smells of rum and tastes like was it raspberries, strawberry? I think it was raspberries. I was gonna say strawberries initially, but I was like, wait, no, the other red ones. The other ones. And yeah, I forgot exactly where I was watching something. It might have been the History Channel or some other TV network that was talking, but actually it could have been Neil deGrasse Tyson, if I'm not mistaken. That as you flew by, if you could stick your head out of the window of the spaceship, was obviously the fucking terrible idea. But if you could, that gas cloud would smell of rum and raspberry. Theoretically. No, it would smell of rum and taste like raspberry. That's what it was. And I just think that's really cool. I mean, I think it's also bullshit that, like, later on in the video they're like, yeah, no. Actually, no, for the majority of the video they're like, yeah, it smells of rum and tastes like raspberry, you know, because of these combinations of gases and elements here and there and blah blah blah. And then towards the end of it, they were just kind of like, yeah, well, I mean, that's just speculation, but in reality, like, if you really did that, if you could stick your head out of the spaceship and smell it, like, you wouldn't smell it at all, because apparently, like, the gas cloud isn't actually that dense at all. I think it was something like it was like 3,000 molecules per cubic centimeter, if I'm not mistaken. That's how dense it was. And as for comparison, the air that we breathe on a daily basis, it's, a lot more than that. I think I have a note. 25 trillion molecules compared to that. Oh, it was three molecules. No, it was 3,000 molecules. Okay, 3,000 molecules for that gas cloud compared to the 25 trillion molecules, estimated, by the way, that we breathe in. So we probably wouldn't even taste it or smell it. I mean, maybe, but it probably won't smell like anything. If anything, it'd just be like a hint. A lot of people like to think that, not think, but try to theorize that, like, black holes can be gateways or like wormholes into different galaxies and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure a black hole is just a black hole. It's just, I mean, it's not even a hole. It's just, a star. Was it a neutron star? I think it's a neutron star that completely collapsed on itself. And all of that matter just keeps getting denser and denser over time because, it just sucks in a lot of shit. That's why light can't escape a black hole. If it tries to go straight through it, all of those light molecules are just done. They're dead. They're feeding into that black hole. Amazingly enough, it's feeding the black hole to a certain degree. And even then, I don't know. Black holes are just crazy too. I think they're amazing. This I remember from I think it was like a Vsauce video or something like that. In theory, there's a certain point, if you were to fall into a black hole, there is a certain point on the event horizon where you could look to your left or to your right, and you could theoretically see the back of your head. Because once you're in that zone, anything and everything that exists in that perimeter doesn't really, like, it's almost at a standstill, in theory at least. Like, it's not escaping and it's not falling towards the black hole either, but it would have to be like a brief moment or something like that. And everything else about black holes is kind of scary. At a certain point, if you were to go feet first into a black hole, The closer you are to a black hole, it would just, the closer your body part, the harder it would pull, and not by, it would slightly pull your legs faster than like your arms or your head. Like it would be violently pulling like your pinky toes violently before, any other part of your body. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is what they call the term spaghettification, because it could probably turn you into fucking instant noodles at that point, in the blink of an eye. Also, I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy that compared to the age of our universe, like we've only lived the time it takes to blink compared to the universe. The universe is so old, and we don't even really know how old it is, or it could be young compared to other universes, if there are other universes to compare it to. We've only lived for like a speck, a little tiny speck of it. But now, honestly, now I'm just rambling. Like, honestly, for most of it, there's just no notes. I just wanted to talk about the gas cloud that smells of rum and raspberry, and then just kind of just wing it from there. But I think I did a decent job. But yeah. I mean, we can always sit here and talk about the universe. It's something that I find intensely fucking interesting, and I can just sit here and rant about it forever. Legitimately, I don't know. I can just look up more information on it. It's just kind of my pastime, I guess, to an extent. Not obsessed with it, but I like learning new facts every now and then. But since we don't know too much about the beginning, and even of our own, obviously we know that at least all of you that are listening, nice healthy reminder that your parentals have banged and popped you out like roughly about 9 months later, 8 months if you're a preemie, or 7 months. But even, I don't know, I know that's supposed to be set up kind of like a joke, but preemies are actually really fucking sad to watch. Anyway, moving on. Yeah. To an extent, you know that you were born. But if you could sit there and think about, like, just think about it. Like, you just sit there, take a moment, pause the video for like 2 minutes. Do you remember being born? At what point did you even begin to exist for yourself? And that is our beginning. Much like the universe, if you were to sit around, and obviously it's a lot easier when you're a kid. I mean, it's harder to describe as a child, but you'd be able to remember a little bit more than, like, let's say me. If you were to ask me, what are my earliest childhood memories? I mean, I have a decent memory, but I wouldn't say a lot of them. I don't remember a whole ton. I can probably draw out my childhood home, with enough detail. But besides that, like, memories are just here and there. And I forgot where I was going with this. But yeah. No, seriously, take a moment. Take a moment to yourself and think about it. What's your earliest childhood memory? Not even, don't even really tell me about it. Just keep it to yourself. Because I know I have a couple more notes, and that's the basis of this talk today. Space is just kind of like the beginning of it. Because there's always a beginning, and there's always an end. And the beginning changes for everyone. Or actually, it's somewhat familiar to everyone, because you never really remember the entire beginning. You just start remembering some of the beginning, mostly the middle, and we're currently living either the middle or the end, for most of us at least. But it's just a healthy reminder to to just give out some advice here and there. Always remember to, like, you can always look back on your life, but don't move forward looking back at your life. It's like trying to do that while walking. Like, you're gonna trip, you're gonna fall on your fucking face, you're gonna eat shit if you keep fucking walking and looking back. Obviously, you always want to briefly look back. It's like walking on the sidewalk or the side of a road. You want your eyes forward. If you're gonna cross the street, fucking look both ways. But I mean, I do this. I don't know about anyone else. When I'm on a sidewalk or on the side of the road, and I'm walking in the same direction as the traffic, of the lane that I'm next to, like, I'll look back. Unless it's oncoming traffic, I'll look back just to see what's coming up. Every single time. Maybe not fucking, 20 times in a minute, but every couple of minutes I'll just take a peek back, see what's coming up. Anything's gonna blindside me. Blindside? If anything's gonna creep up on me. But that's just me. Anyway. But getting into the nitty gritty of this is try not to. You can always take a peek back. You can always look and remember all of the things in your life, but don't let it guide you forward. At least not the bad things. Let the good things guide you forward. Take the good stuff. Make it a part of yourself. And all of those good life decisions, even the bad ones. Actually, fuck, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Like, take the good and the bad. Take everything that you've learned and just keep going. Keep moving forward. Keep progressing through life and innovate and just have fun. Live your life to the fullest. Even if it's something even if it's like not up to par with like a stranger's perspective, like, just be happy with your life. That's mostly what I would be happy for most people if they were to just live life happily. But on that note, I had a ton of time with my cousins recently, and we came over. I mean, I guess it's kind of a short story. Story time. Sorry, I hate I hate those videos. First couple of them were funny, but after seeing like fucking 1,000 of those vines, like, I'm done. I hate story time. And I hate it when people still quote it like fucking like a bajillion years later. I know it's only been like 5 years, but still. It's like, nah, just stop using story time. Get a better title. Story time's such a boring title. But yeah, anyway. Point is that I had a lot of time to spend with my cousins recently. We were celebrating a birthday party, and we basically went day drinking for Actually, no, we drank that night. Came home, rested for a good while, had a couple of, or played a couple of games, watched a couple of streams, and the point was is that I went to bed, you know, feeling still pretty drunk, and I woke up a couple of hours later to my cousin calling me, asking me to come over for breakfast, and I was like, you know, it's like 7 in the morning. I slept like fucking 2 hours ago. But even then, like I was just kind of like, you know what? Sure. I'm still tipsy and still a little drunk. I just got up, slapped some water on my face, you know, took a shower, headed over, stumbled on in on the way to into the to his house, and you know, sat down and had breakfast. Majority of the time there we were talking about Mother's Day and, you know, my uncle's birthday as well. So nice family time there. And yeah, after that we I don't even remember how this topic came up, but they started talking about cemeteries during breakfast. And I guess apparently in Mexico they don't really bury people, at least in certain parts of Mexico where we're from. They don't really bury people anymore. Or at least where my mother's side of the family is from. They don't really bury people anymore. They kind of have them in those slotted house looking things. They have their own little like I mean, it's not a catacomb, but it kind of, I mean, I guess it's just like a little house that they build. Or they have like these giant, massive walls that are like 12 feet tall, maybe 15 feet tall, like just straight in the air. And they just, you know, they all have slotted places. You can buy your own, you can buy and fix up your own little place as well. But I think for the community, it's mostly this massive wall. People that just get, you know, just get popped into one of those little slots, and that's it. That's the end of their days right there. And we went over a couple of footages. We went over a couple of videos where people they had like speakers and stuff. They were like bumping fucking old classic Mexican folk music at that point, just I guess 24/7. So if you came to pay your respects to one of your fallen family members, like they were just, you know, chilling. It was like a waiting lobby for the most part. And no disrespect to people that have passed on and whatnot. I just think it's interesting that you could just set up a speaker system in your graveyard. Or at least in your little grave house or whatever. I don't even know what it's properly called. But I thought it was pretty funny. Pretty cool to have that. And a lot of that conversation carried on to like, oh, you know, paying for caskets. You could have your caskets prepaid for, at least over there. Don't even really know how it is here. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure you can still do it here. You can prepay a casket. You can prepay. Obviously, you can choose out your slots where you want to be buried and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure they bury you in the ground here. And if I'm not mistaken, you usually have to reserve your spots. Kind of like a movie theater. Like they kind of have you up in rows and you pick out your seats and whatnot. But like if you have a family thing, you can't really have like sections off to yourself. Like pretty sure you have to pay for each individual spot or something like that. I don't know. I think it depends on the cemetery as well. But we're talking a good deal of that. And ultimately the question was if I ever wanted to be buried or if I wanted to be cremated. My cousin's wife doesn't really like talking about stuff like that. And you know, I don't blame her. it's not really an easy thing to talk about. Like even leaving wills and stuff like that, or just setting up finances for when you pass on. And you know, they're still in their 20s. But like eventually you'll have to do it, and like right now, I'm not saying you have to do it right now, but like, you know, some people have done it. I have written written notes of things, you know, for some reason, you know, I just cease to exist tomorrow. Like, if anyone were to rummage through my things, they would see these things, and at least those are my final written words as to who keeps my stuff, who carries on with the moniker of xNekroses, who gets to be the next one. We're gonna have it kind of like a Doctor Who. You know, when he dies, if you don't know Doctor Who, like, he's like an alien, I guess, and he has different life cycles, and every single time he dies, he regenerates into a new one. It's gonna be kind of like that, except I'm not regenerating. I'm just passing on the role. It'll be to someone else. I don't know, maybe one of my sisters, or my nephew when he's old enough. And yeah. Anyway, that was just kind of like a fucking stupid joke. It's really not that important. But the thing is cremated or buried. And they all wanted to be buried. And along with that question was where you wanted to be buried. Here in the United States, or back in Mexico, back in, you know, the towns that we live in, our motherland. And I think for me, honestly, it just have to be the US. Like, I was born here, I was raised here, most of my family and friends live here, so there wouldn't, not to say that I don't have family or friends in Mexico, it's just, there's more of them here. There's more of them that have everlasting memories here. And to take my body and just send it elsewhere where they couldn't, like, come and visit a grave site or something like that, you know, it wouldn't piss anyone off, but it definitely would not feel good to want to visit someone's gravestone and, you know, just not have it be there. But regardless, I didn't pick buried. I picked cremated. So they'd spread my ashes somewhere, and along the way, and I'm pretty sure it's true, that when you get cremated, not all of your bones actually turn to dust. So most of them will actually remain, and the only thing I do want done with my body is, you know, spread my ashes, or like turn me into a tree or something like that. Just fully embody the soy boy approach. Be a part of Mother Earth, of Gaia herself. That's just dumb. But actually, I don't know. Maybe I will be a tree. I'll be a poppin' cherry tree. If you think that's an innuendo, you're probably right. But I'm not gonna get into it. The point is that, you know, maybe I'll turn into a tree. But most definitely, for sure, I'd want some of my ashes to be turned into like a ring or a necklace that can be passed down as like a family heirloom. To celebrate my life. It sounds a little narcissistic, but, you know, we don't really have heirlooms like that in our family. So that's just something that I would want to start with my direct family. I mean, they don't really know about it yet. I told my cousins and, you know, them about it at breakfast. But they now know. And I know we started talking about the day drinking thing. This is basically where it, you know, continued. After all of this conversation wrapped up, all the whole traditions and cremation, getting buried alive and whatnot, learning how to hide bodies, you know, it's still my uncle's birthday. You know, so we had to celebrate. couple of our other cousins came over and, you know, just had a chat with us and whatnot. And he saw, he got this, he was gifted this tequila bottle. And I hate to throw it out publicly, but like in person, if it's your birthday, like normally I'm not like I have a high tolerance when it comes to alcohol, but I'm not a daily drinker. I don't like drinking every single day. But one thing that for sure I don't like doing is denying, like, let's say if the birthday boy or birthday girl were to ask me to take a shot with them, or they, you know, they offer me a shot, I feel like it'd be rude. I feel like it would be rude to say no. Obviously, if I'm like just completely just pissed on the fucking floor and, you know, incapable of getting up, like I feel like I could say no at that point. But if I'm sober, and I wasn't, but like I'm saying, like, you know, if I'm functional and they want to take a shot with me, well, you know what? Like it would be rude to say no. So I'm just going to take a shot. And that's where it all began. I mean, it began the night before, but you know, we had a couple of shots of tequila, had a bunch of coffee, sat out on the patio talking about more childhood memories of ours, and kind of just looping back over to the beginning of our lives and whatnot. And yeah, just started drinking beers out there, just chopping it up with the family, just having a lot of fun. There's a lot of things that I do remember. There's a lot of things that they had to remind me of when we were kids. And you know, take a note that my cousins are like 2 or 3 to 4 years older than me. So, you know, for me, I was like maybe like 8. So for them, they'd be like 12 and 13, maybe 14. I know it's more than 4 years, but some of them are older. So I think it's crazy how much they can remember. Talked about I mean, this is more so my cousin's story. It's not really mine, but I just think it's funny. He was talking about a time capsule that he and one of his friends built. And apparently they stuffed a bunch of Playboy magazines in them. And he was you know, he was fucking talking about it. I thought it was funny. He may eventually dig up that time capsule and see, you know, what's inside. And I think it's one of the things that I'd be glad to like witness in person. I mean, think about it. He's laid that time capsule almost, I would say almost 20 years ago. Almost 20 years ago. Holy shit. So it'd be crazy to just bring it all up. I mean, he said that they threw a bunch of stuff in there. Lighters, Playboy magazines, just anything that they had around that they were currently interested in back then. So, I mean, maybe I'll update you guys on that later on. But it's always a trip. I know with my cousins, if you ever see pictures of me with frosted tips or frosted hair, that definitely with my cousins and their friends. That is the kind of shenanigans that we would get up to. Jesus, no, we were up to. Frosting our hair, remembering the times that there was a pool in one of the apartment complexes where we all kind of lived in, and all of the apartments are 2 stories, so they would jump up, or they would basically boost each other up onto the roofs of these apartments, because they were all they all had patios, and they would jump off the 2nd story, which would basically be the 3rd story at that point, of the roof, straight into the pool. And yeah, I just think it's funny. A lot of good memories like that. A lot of jackass videos that we used to make. I mean, those are stupid. There's plenty of video evidence. I don't know if my cousin has it. I'll have to see. I'll have to get in touch with them and see if I can like rip a copy of it somehow, because they're all on tape. Of a bunch of these films where we used to imitate all of the jackass crew and try to do all these stupid stunts as well. At one point we had like 5 people on a single bike, and we coasted down a really steep hill and just ran straight into a fence. Why? Who fucking knows? But that's just kind of what we were up to back then. Jumping off the roofs of houses and like straight into bushes, and you know, injuring ourselves remarkably. Those were the good times. Okay, maybe not good times, but you know, it was all fun. A lot of good memories to have there. And yeah. Day drinking is a trip. Day drinking is definitely a trip. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the tequila shots that we were having were basically at like 9 in the morning. Then we were just drinking beers from there. Went over to my mom's place because they were... Oh, but, you know, this was Mother's Day, by the way. This was on Sunday. And it was my cousin's birthday the Saturday, the day before Mother's Day, and then day drinking was on Mother's Day. You know, went over to my mother's house. They were having a little barbecue of sorts and food and whatnot, and, you know, just started drinking more from there. And then I got home pretty late, and then just started thinking about all of this stuff. Everything. How much I missed the normality of everything. But even then, actually, no. I miss things being normal. But only because, like, only because of this. Like, spending family time like this. Sitting there and, like, drinking beer. Because normally we're too busy. We're too busy to sit around and, like, drink beer and have barbecues and, you know, hang out for extended periods of time. But this is one of my silver linings of our whole, you know, pandemic situation. At a very meaningful time with my family. A lot of memories, a lot of home videos. That was another thing we did. We sat around and my mom set up one of her old cameras to play old videos. One of them was like one of my sister's 18th birthday and whatnot. And it was just, I don't know, just a bunch of my cousins, a lot younger, a lot skinnier. Just, you know, hanging out, messing around. And it was just fun. It was fun seeing everyone just completely different. And as a reference point, that was my sister's. I was about to say daughters. I was like, my daughter. No, that was my sister's 18th birthday in the video. I'm not gonna post the video, but she's now 26, so that would have been 8 years ago. 8 years makes a big difference. To us, at least. Compared to the universe, it's a speck. It's the blink of an eye. And, yeah. I think the biggest question, what kind of fucking, what kind of accent, cinnamon, what kind of accent am I really trying to portray here? Maybe I'm not American. Maybe I have a hidden accent that's slowly trying to creep up, like come out. Maybe Maybe I'm like, maybe I have a fucking, actually no, maybe I have like a split personality thing going on, and like when I go to sleep, the other me wakes up and he has a completely different accent. It just like roams around at night. Maybe that's why I'm so tired. Maybe that is why I wake up exhausted. Who knows? Obviously, I'm kidding, but the point, the little segue that I was trying to get to was our time compared to the universe's small. Even human race as a whole, it's the blink of an eye compared to the universe. It's how long we've existed here. That's how many years there were before us, and how many more years that will come before the next, the next end of the universe, the next big bang, the big shebang, if you will, or if there even will be. Who knows? I don't know what this universe is expanding to. Are we the first ones? Or are we the last ones? And if we are the first, then what does the future hold? And if we're the last, then what happened? Where did we go wrong? Or where did we go right? Because it's scary to think that there is nothing out there. It's scary to think about a universe just filled in darkness and us just trying to fill that void. Because to me, it just kind of makes almost anything and everything meaningless. But that's just the nihilist in me. And, those of you that somewhat know me know that I'm not a complete nihilist. I kind of am, but not for the most part. I still try to remain positive. But here's my question to you guys. Even if there was nothing out there, nothing the universe actually had to offer, there is no end game. Do we have value? And what do you value? Actually, no. What do you value? That's more so the question. What do you value the most? What is your most cherished memory? What is your most cherished possession? What do you love the most? What are the things that you like? Because for me, at least as far as the human race goes, like, does the human race have value? In my personal opinion, we don't know yet. I mean, we do and we don't. To us, even just landing on the moon was a giant fucking step in the right direction, and it is. What? Or there's no buts here. We keep moving forward while learning from our past. We can definitely guide humanity into the stars and into the great beyond and be these pioneers of an ever-expanding universe. And, maybe we can be the ones to make first contact with other civilizations. But we stay the same. We stay in our own devices and our own, mishaps. If we don't learn from our past, then, we'll just be nothing more than that. Just a blink of an eye. You could say that landing on the moon was super important, but at the same time, if our direct solar system was doomed, it was on a crash course for another solar star system, and fucking, they end up colliding and we all die, then we didn't really make a footprint, did we? We didn't really make anything. But if we expand, colonize different planets, then that is the biggest footprint that we can make. And I think in the last couple of years, Yeah, more so in the later years that I've been having more so of that's been more so my drive and my ambition is to make a bigger footprint in our society, I guess. How would I achieve that? Who knows? I don't know. It's making silly YouTube videos, making fucking just having stupid conversations online and just joking about things. I think for me, that's probably the best thing. To just, even through all the heartache and the pain, just, coast on by, joke around, have laughs, have some good fucking times. That's the way that I want to go. I just want to go happy. I want to go knowing that I made a difference. But yeah. And with that, I am very surprised that I've been able to keep your attention for this long. And before I go, I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Leshy and Cash. It's like the fourth time I said that. I'm gonna just say thank you this time, but you guys know for what. Yeah. I really do love you guys, and I want you guys to succeed in all of your own ambitions and all of the things that you aspire to. And if you don't, like, it's okay. Like, it's not bad to fail. It's just worse when you don't learn anything from it. You can fail as much as you want, but as long as you're learning from it, that's all that really matters. As long as you're making and putting in the effort, showing the passion, and getting, sticking your arms into the mud and trying to really shape your future. Those are some of the people that I value the most. But as always, have a good day, have a good night, sweet dreams, and take care. I only wish that you guys be the very best version of yourself every single day, even when it feels like it is the most impossible thing to do. I feel like okay, real quick, I feel like we got way too serious in this last podcast, but I hope it sparked some interest and sparked some ideas and thoughts through your head. That's, I guess, mostly what I'm trying to go for at the moment. But I guess I have to be the generic fucking YouTuber at some point, so all I'm gonna say is God, I set up a quote. I didn't actually write it down. I should have wrote it down. It's like this stupid dialogue. It's like, hey guys, this is xNekroses. I'm signing off. If this video doesn't get 10,000 likes within the first day of releasing it, I'm gonna beat the shit out of my dick so fucking hard. Just something like that. Yeah. I don't know. I want to be an influence, but I don't know if I want to be that kind of influence. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.